Okay, we're going to be on page Word 86 for this video, and we're talking about inserting in page numbers. And if you want to number the pages of a multiple page document, you can insert a page number field at the top, bottom, or side margin of each page. A field is a code that serves as a placeholder for data that changes in the document, such as a page number or even the current date. When you use the page number button on the Insert tab to add page numbers to a document, you insert the page number field at the top, bottom, or side of any page, and Word automatically numbers all the pages in the document for you. So that's what we're going to be looking at here on page Word 86. Now, if we take a look at step 1 on page 86, your document should look like this right now, where it is 2 pages on there, and we can see all 4 pages this way. And step 1 tells us that we want to click the Page With button here on the Zoom group. And that's going to make us back out to this view right here. And our insertion point, if it's not currently here at the F in front of footprints, if your insertion point is somewhere else, you can just press your Control Home to go back up to the top of the document. Once we have that, we're going to click on the Insert tab. And from the Insert tab, we're going to go over here, and we're going to click on the Page Number button in the Header and Footer group. So here we have our Header and Footer group right here. It's a small little group. And we click on Page Number. And of course, the Page Number menu will open, and you use this menu to select the position for the page numbers. If you choose to add a page number field to the top, bottom, or side of a document, a page number will appear on every page in the document. If you choose to insert it into the document at the location of the insertion point, which in my case right now is before the F in footprints, the field will only appear on that individual page on there. Now, page 2 tells us that we want to point to bottom of page, and this opens up our a gallery of formatting and alignment options for the page numberings on there. And now these are all the different options that are on the bottom of the page. If you want a different side as far as in the margins or the top of the page, you would have to choose that itself. Step 3 tells us that we want to scroll down this so we can see the different options. And of course you can see that there's different fonts, different positionings, some of them has lines to them. There's a lot of different options that's there. There's arrows. So you can choose which one you think that is going to be best to serve your purposes. However, for this document, we're going to scroll back up to the top here, and in the Simple group on here, we are going to click on the plain number 2, this option. And when we click on that, you notice that the page number 1 appears centered in the footer area. And remember, the footer is at the bottom of the first page, or the bottom of this page. There's a footer for every single page, and it's always on the bottom. And of course, you'll also know as well is that up here in the document that it has been grayed out, or it's been dimmed. And that's because this footer section is active and it is currently open. And the text that is inserted in a footer area will appear on the bottom of every page in a document. So if you type something here, it's going to be on the bottom of page 2, the bottom of page 3, and on the bottom of page 4, or however many pages that you have. And of course, on there, if you ever want to change the location or the formatting of your page numbers, you can always go back up here and click on Page Number button, and you can point to a page number location and then select the format from the gallery on there. So you can always go back there and change that just by clicking on the page numbering on here as well. Step 4 will tell us that we can double click the text document so that we can scroll back to the bottom of page 1. So if you would double click in the document here, just anywhere in here, double click, that will actually make the text area the active section that we're going to be looking at. And you can also do this as well by clicking on the Close Header and Footer here as well. And notice that everything now becomes back to life. It's no longer dimmed or grayed out. But we do need to scroll down to the bottom of page 1. And of course, whenever you double click or click on that Close Header and Footer section, that will close the footer area. Now, the page number that you're taking a look at the bottom of page 1 is now dimmed because it's located in the footer area, which is no longer the active area. When the document is printed, the page number will appear as normal text. And we'll take a look at working in the footer area a little bit more in our next lesson. Step 5 tells us we want to scroll down the document to see the numbering on every single page. And of course, Word automatically numbers each page of the newsletter, and each page number is centered at the bottom of the page. If you want to change the numbering format or to start page numbering with a different number, you can simply click on the Page Number button and then click on Format Page Numbers and choose the options in the page number format dialog box. So, we can always go right back up here to our Insert Page Number, and we can format the page numbers, and you can see that here you can choose your numbering formats. If you want to have chapter numbers, you could, or if you want to start page numbering at a certain page, you can choose whatever page number you would want it to be started out with. We're just going to click on Cancel here, and we'll move on down to Step 6, which tells us we need to press Control Home, which will take us back up to the top of our document. Now, a couple of things that we can take a look at here is that we know that this is a 4-page document, which for you is probably a rather long document. And instead of using the scroll bar here, there's a little area that's down here on the bottom. And these are 3 different objects that you can use. The first one on here, if you want to, you can actually browse by object feature to move quickly your insertion point to a specific location. The Browse by Object allows you to browse to the next or previous page, section, line, table, graphic, or other item of the same type in the document. And all you do is you just click on this little dot right here, or this little button, and that will let you go on there and you can choose the different object that you want to look at. So you can browse by your section, by graphic, headings, comments, footnotes, endnotes, a lot of different areas right here that you can look for. There's also the double arrow up and the double arrow down, and those are the page up and page down buttons. So, or the next page and the previous page buttons. If I click on this down pointing double arrow, notice it takes me down to page 2. Click it again, takes me to page 3. If I click on the double up arrow, that's going to take me back to page 2 and then eventually back to page 1. There's also an area that's on here that you can take a look at, and where you can insert in some most commonly used information or fields into a document, and that is what we call the quick parts. And the quick parts will insert in the field that can be updated, and those quick parts are located right here in the text group. And if we take a look at quick parts, we can choose the document properties as far as abstracts, author, manager, publish date on those. We can add in a field to put on there, but we can also put in such things as the date and time, a signature line, and so forth. And that concludes this video here about inserting page numbers. You're now ready to move on to the next video.